Namaste, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac Weather. My name is Stepº5 Witecki. I am the sensei to Sirius. I'm here to help you stand in your heart and walk in the light, or dance, or boogie, or march, whatever it is that you do, my fellow earthling. And it is Tuesday, October 27th, 2014. First, please forgive me being off the air. My goddess, that solar eclipse at 0 degrees on Scorpio, Thursday. I taped the greatest Friday show. So proud of it. I mean, I really did a lot of work. You probably know I do put a lot of hard work into each show. So I had this great baby. I went to put it through its post-production like it always does, following the same procedure I always follow, and the shows just would not budge. It was so frustrating, and the beginning of my personal breakdown. I think we've all had a bit of a breakdown through the weekend. That was what the solar eclipse was about. And today I'm happy to report Step 5 rules the day. Step 5 means that we're going to put it all together. We're going to connect it all, put the dots together, and understand. So today I'm going to help you put the dots together. In our Sensei Sunrise, we're going to show you the math. I'm going to introduce something I haven't introduced to the public before, what I call serious math. And I'm also in the Zodiac Weather going to talk about where each of the 12 signs I think is putting the connections together. But before we go on to all of you, let's first tame our brain with the phrase of the day. I hereby protect and love my emotional integrity. I'm saying this because the sun is in Scorpio. We're building emotional boundaries. We must be mindful of our emotional integrity. Emotional integrity to me is keeping our emotions fit, right? Keeping them together, keeping them flowing. That's integrity. Or step 11 is integrity, if you know the serious steps to joy. So I hereby protect and love, always got to throw the love in there, my emotional integrity. And so it is, because they said so. I thought so. Now, I want to talk about the serious steps of the last 2 days we've gone through, just to catch up, because there was a lot of teaching I wanted to share with you guys to understand some really phenomenal changes going on in our life. Monday was step 4, Tuesday is step 5. This is in Scorpio. And the reason why this is such a big deal is because we're wrapping up the Saturn and Scorpio transit. So we are drawing emotional boundaries that we will likely keep for 30 years or so. And the solar eclipse over the weekend was the beginning of it. Well, actually on Thursday. So the Joy Quest intention today is step 5. We want to have mental clarity. We may also be trying to connect to certain people or connect to certain business or make certain connections today. But mental clarity is what will bring us joy, trust me. Now the moon is in Capricorn, and so we are clearing and releasing some of our heavier past, and by late tonight the moon will conjunct Pluto, so as we sleep we literally kind of purge that in the United States, or as you wake in Europe or Asia you'll be purging it as you wake, depending on where you're in the world. So there's a lot of the emotions can be heavy, and if your emotions are heavy, that's because you have something to release. Okay, that's what we don't want to carry, that baggage. Now the solar eclipse really was a triggering of a healing, a boundary healing. And this Capricorn moon is going to release attachments to old power systems. So it's like a transverse wave. It started at 0 degrees Scorpio, and it's like, I don't know, it's almost like thinking about a blanket and just throwing, like doing this with a blanket and throwing all the crap off the blanket into the air. That's basically what the solar eclipse does vibrationally, but very gently. So today, some of the heavier stuff on the blanket is going to still fly off. We'll be effective for the solar eclipse really till the next eclipse. That's how it works. It's like this big, pronounced wave. But today, the healing really begins as we release the moon, as we release the heavier stuff in our moon. Now let's look at the chakras that are involved. For starters, yesterday was ruled by I belong. So yesterday, we were going through breakdown and breakthrough, mostly breakdown, which was trying to really realign us with new belongings, okay? So the universe is trying to bring us to a new belonging, bring us to a new association. Today, I think, is ruling the day, which is the third chakra, so we might be having stomach issues, it's kind of cloudy. What we're trying to do is bring understanding and clarity to that third chakra. And of course, we're working on Scorpio, which technically rules 2 of the chakras, like I've said. I think it's behind the orange and behind the light blue, or 2nd and 5th. However, I believe right now, because it's I think rules the day, I think that we're going to be processing boundaries around thoughts, boundaries around our throat chakra, boundaries around speaking up. that sort of thing. So let's look at Planet Soup. What does God have cooking up there in the stars for us today? Well, remember the sun was at 4 degrees, then 5 degrees. Okay, so these are the two steps, 4 yesterday, 5 today. The two really work slippery together. In fact, consciousness just is. And so you may be experiencing step 4 still. You may have already clicked into step 5. You might have experienced step 4 actually as soon as or early as, well, really Friday. Actually, so we could have had a breakdown as early as Friday due to the nature of how everything is wired up there in the planet. So it's pretty powerful. And what this is also leading to is a holy shift, because the Sun and Venus, who are making love right now constantly 24 hours a day in conjunction, are trining Neptune retrograde at step 4. All right. Step 4 is the spiritual miracle degree. So basically, and it's retrograde. So basically what's happening is we draw new emotional boundaries. We are reversing karma, we are changing karma, or we might be pulling in karma if we are still young on the planet. The moon in Capricorn makes us learn then release today. So we're going to go through a lot of learning and we're going to do a lot of release. By release, it's that we tell ourselves, hey, I don't feel like holding on to this anymore. I don't feel like doing this anymore. Or I feel like doing something else. Now, happily said, I think this is one of the culprits in my computer breakdown. Mercury was retrograde, but went direct over the weekend, and it is now at step 16, which means our thoughts are tuning into Neptune, much like that trine. So there's a lot of spiritual Neptune energy coming in here to spiritually guide and bring in miracles. And I have to say, I actually, just come to think of it, have had a couple of miracles happen in the last day, really, in my own life, I have to say. Yes, I can say that. So Jupiter is moving to passion now. It's at step 20 in Leo, and conjuncting my moon, incidentally. Whew! My ride in that, I was so angry on Friday. But like, step 20 is here, so we have to protect our emotions and protect our hearts. Our hearts are getting very passionate about something. And Black Lilith hovering ahead at step 26, which is a Joy Quest 8, that is that we are dedicated to not repeating some sort of painful past. That's what the black moon is. It's the emotion we don't want. Right? So we do hold space for what we don't want in 3D space, and so we have this pressure building in our hearts, and we're moving forward in our hearts in direction. Jupiter will retrograde, I think, at 22 degrees, ironically, quantum, and then pulls back. But we are getting close now up to it, and that means our hearts are expanding with Jupiter and Leo. So it's passionate, and emotional boundaries can never be more important, right? Whoops, I always do that. Goofy me. So if you haven't noticed, my Sensei Sunrise image is the Great Wall of China. The greatest wall that was ever built on Earth, can be seen from space, and we are in Scorpio, which is about boundaries. Now, I want to talk about the step 4 consciousness, because really, when we had the solar eclipse on Thursday, it was a giant pronounced energy in step 0, I protect. But Scorpio is step 0, I protect. So it was like, it really was this huge amp up of all Scorpio energy, period, right? It's like getting your favorite candy from God. So what happens is this wave is going to carry out now energetically in our hearts. And this wave is us putting our foot down. Now somewhere, by the time you get to step 4 in this awareness, right, there is a breakdown, which might have happened yesterday, or it could have happened as early as Friday, I believe, as the sun clicked into gear into Scorpio, because lightning, if it's all set up to strike, some sort of lightning in your life, and we're doing this much profound change like we are in Scorpio, then it can happen early, and sometimes people hold on for dear life to the old life, and so people can sometimes still manifest breakdowns even in step 5, step 6 days. And I've noticed my clients, kind of depends on how willing you are to do the work. Most people who watch shows like this are willing to do the work, and so they run ahead. Most of my clients are just slightly ahead of what I report, and you have to just kind of find where that is. I always report directly, accurately where I think it will happen. Truth is, the breakdown should have happened yesterday. And let's talk about the construction of the breakdown, and let's talk about where it's leading. It's leading to a breakthrough. And that's what today's step 5 is. Today's step 5 is, I think, so we can break through, where our thoughts will come together and we will get it. We will be able to get it. Now, what are we trying to get? We're trying to get where an emotional boundary with our own self needs to change, right? And in the Zodiac weather, I'll talk about where I believe that boundary might be for your zodiac sun sign. But this changing is a big change, because by changing the boundary, you will likely change where you emotionally belong. Scorpio is where emotional boundaries are. So these early step 4, step 5, step 6, as we move up here, in fact, let me show you my next illustration. As we climb consciousness, this is really how it is. 0 is protection, then we love, then we feel it, then we belong, and it's from the belonging to the connection of thinking that's the biggest step, because we're trying to change where we belong, where our conscious feels like we belong, and we have a hard time getting our mind around that. And that's what the breakdown, breakthrough energy is. It's usually through the belonging consciousness that the mind comes up with a new solution. So it's really about where your heart feels like it belongs if you are protecting your own feelings. That's how it comes down to with the breakdown in early Scorpio here. You have to protect your feelings and know what they are, and then be willing to belong with the consequences of what that is. So I want to show you here some quick little serious math. And this is breakdown. So breakdown is step 4, right? And I want to throw something at you to give you a little quantum breakdown in your own mind to show you kind of how astronumerology works. It has other dimensions, and I talk about this in my book, The 11 Steps to Sirius Joy, that I'm writing. But there's basically 4 ways, there's 3 ways to add up 4. You have 0 plus 4 equals 4 in the top line there. You can have 3 plus 1 equals 4, right? Or 2 plus 2 equals 4. We all know these basic equations. But what's really amazing is these are also the ways that consciousness can add up with the steps to lead to breakdown, breakthrough. So for instance, if you're operating at the top at a 0, if you're operating very guarded and in your I protect consciousness, then because the day was step 4 ruled, God is holding the step 4 note, then what you're going to do is law of attract a step 4, kind of an earthquake, an Aquarius energy. So if you are holding your boundaries, you're going to law and attract shock treatment to get to your 4. So some people have real shock treatments that happen. Now the equations work reverse too. If you're a real firecracker and you're just looking to shock everybody, if you're the 4, well then you're the one that's going to draw in that 0 hiding, and lightning strikes. So this is one way law of attract can happen. So you might have had a shock treatment breakdown. The second way is how you're experiencing right now, where we're in belief, step 3, I believe. You and I are looking at our beliefs, we're educating, we're looking to expand our beliefs. I add a little love, all right, or truth, however you want to put it, step 1. A little bit of love, which is me sharing information with you, love, love, love. And boom, you have breakthrough, 4, right, education. But then you also have probably the most popular formula for breakdown, breakthrough, which is you're in your emotions, step 2, and you're all about your emotions. And what do you draw in for the breakdown, breakthrough? Someone else also in their own emotions. So this is the 2 plus 2 makes 4 emotional chaos breakdown, breakthrough. And any of these equations might have happened. In fact, for me, I'll just share with you that my breakdown came very early, came Friday morning, it came, well, Thursday through the night, as I couldn't get the show to go live. So immediately I was 2 plus 2 with myself, like the whole time. And I realized right away, aha, this is my first test of how to hold back myself emotionally for my own personal boundaries. And that's really what it's about here. It's really about honoring one of 2 choices that we have at any moment and holding that boundary. I think that's how we get through all of this. So today we're going to be meditating on all these feelings. And we come back with the gong. I will give you a note to think about that might lead you to your step 5 connection. All that after this. Introducing Secrets of Birthdays. Bow chicka bow wow. Are you ready to find love? Bow chicka bow wow. Your secrets are coming out. Bow chicka bow wow. All those sexy secrets are available at secretsofbirthdays.com.
Bow chicka bow wow, baby.